This is the BlahCade Pinball Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Freebus, aka Shut Your Trap. Joining me as always, halfway across the world, is Jared Morgan.
Hey everyone, how you going?
Doing well.
Good.
It's been a hot minute again, Jared. We seem to have a lot of these hot minutes now in between shows.
We do.
I feel like we're on the same schedule that we used to be. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I've been distracted by my wife doing a sad thing with her watch because I didn't advance or the time like I'm supposed to. That's
because daylight savings ended over there.
yes.
It's like a big. Oh, my watch no work.
And then she goes, "You don't love me."
Well, obviously, if you didn't adjust her clock,
Yes.
What are you doing, Chris?
Right? I'm clearly doing everything wrong.
Yeah.
No, what I was going to say is we're almost on the same schedule as when we first started this podcast, and it would be these month-long
these
gaps.
like mad months where we just we can get together, let's do it. We had like 8 people on the show.
Well, I was going to say, and that's why it was because we had 8 people on the show. It was hard to get everybody's
Yeah.
schedules coordinated when you had like 4 different time zones.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah, I remember those days. That was bad.
Our only excuse now is either a lack of content or me working on a weekend. So, yeah.
That's pretty much what it comes down to. Because we're not just going to do a show with junk in it because no one likes those when we have the stats to prove it. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So I got a comment that my birthday was a few weeks back, and I got the Twin Peaks Z to A box set. It's like 21 discs. It is all 3 seasons of the show. So the 2 that were on network, the one that was on Showtime a few years ago, plus Fire Walk with Me, plus all of the deleted scenes from that, which is like 90 minutes worth of stuff.
Jeez, that's a lot of deleted scenes.
Massive. And Twin Peaks is one of those shows that I've always said it was one of my favorite shows. That being said, rewatching it, I'm about just a few episodes into the 2nd season. It's very melodramatic, and I think if you were a new to it person, you'd be going, "Really? You all flipped your lids over this?" Because they don't understand that at the time that it came out, it was unlike anything else on television. And if you didn't have Twin Peaks, you wouldn't have X-Files. And without X-Files, you wouldn't have Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones and just your laundry list of everything else. Because it brought that sense of cinema and storytelling and long form and weirdness into the mix.
It made it acceptable to do that on TV.
The thing that I'm finding really kind of it's hilarious and sad at the same time. The transfer is gorgeous. You know, this show is shot on film, and it does not.
It's made the jump nicely.
Oh, yeah. It does not betray its age in that respect at all, except for in one instance. So you got to understand, back then, your television was like what, a 280i resolution?
Yeah,
I think
probably 480p at best.
What P?
480p?
No, not then.
Oh, that was standard definition.
That
Yeah,
was
that's
standard
right.
definition.
Like,
On a CRT.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah,
Which
pretty.
If you were rich, you had like a 24-inch television at that time.
Ooh, yeah, that's right. Like rear projection as well. You know.
Yeah, there was people with rear projection at that time, but it was also still just that same resolution. So that being said, the poor focus pullers, at the time when they pulled focus on the subject, and they would watch their dailies back on a CRT, it looked in focus. It looked great. Watching this on Blu-ray.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I'm seeing the buzzes. I'm seeing where I'm like, focus. You're focused on the collar, not on the nose. Oh, come on, get in, and then you can see the actor lean. I'm like, oh, they hit their mark. Now they're in focus, and I'm just like, oh,
wow. So you actually get to see when they're off mark slightly, because back then
you wouldn't have been able to tell. You would not have been able to tell. Would have looked perfectly in focus.
Because the resolution on what you're saying, the dailies, is where they were watching it back on a monitor.
Yep.
As you would if you were watching it as a viewer.
Yes.
It would have been like...
It's kind of like, I guess the best way to describe it would be, you have your video game players out there that want to play, an N64 on a CRT. The games look better than if you play them on a flat screen.
An LCD, yeah.
Yeah, because of... that's what they were designed for. That's how they hid... and there's tricks that they were able to put in that were hidden to the eye until you throw it on a flat screen LCD, and then it's like, oh, that trick is now fully exposed and doesn't look good.
The curtain is removed.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's really just kind of been interesting going through it and watching that, and I'm watching all the behind the scenes stuff, and it's really fascinating. So if you were into Twin Peaks, it's $55 on Amazon. You can't go wrong.
Oh,
it's literally
not much for all that.
Everything. There's,
right.
Like I said, 21 discs. It's massive. So good times right there.
A lot of discs.
Let's talk a little bit on the pinball front. We'll dive right in with At Games and Zen. The Zen calendar that At Games put out is right and truly out the window.
Right, so that one that we talked about a couple of shows ago that sort of laid out the year.
Yeah.
As far as releases went, it's canned.
Canned.
Fiction. Absolute fiction.
I didn't even realize that apparently it got pulled almost immediately.
Oh, did it?
Mm-hmm. And they haven't put up a calendar since.
So they learnt their lesson. Or they learned.
I feel like they might have gotten a phone call from Mel.
Maybe.
Because we were supposed
about the leak.
Yeah, we were supposed to be getting nothing but Star Wars tables for the first, through April, I believe. We have not gotten Star Wars tables. We've gotten Black Rose. We've gotten Party Zone. We weren't supposed to be getting Medieval Madness, Getaway, and Junkyard until, like, September or something like that. That's what's coming out this week.
Wow, okay. So,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that calendar is...
Maybe it amounts to more of a, here's the list of games that we'll be releasing this year, but in no particular order.
Well, except for there was actual dates next to everything. So that's why it's really kind of strange. Yeah. I wonder what...
happened.
To me, it was very odd that they would jump right into Star Wars when Star Wars is such an obvious thing to put in a skin cabinet.
Yes.
Or to time it better, around May the 4th, that's when you release that stuff. So
that would make sense.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit of a head scratcher, and especially since everybody is really wanting Williams tables on this cab. It's
give the people what they want.
Yeah,
like give them all the Williams tables.
Zen did do a thing that hasn't made its way to the arcade one up. No, wrong cabinet. To the At Games cabinet. For Jurassic Park, hey, they got the music.
Oh, jeez, and doesn't sound good in the games. It's like, wow.
That was complete surprise that they went and did that.
Yeah.
I mean, it honestly makes me wonder if they're going to get the Back to the Future music, get the Jaws music, get the E.T. music, and be like, there, you happy? Don't complain about this crap anymore.
It would be amazing if they could pull it off.
It would. It really would.
But I just have to wonder how many millions of, not billions of dollars, but how many dollary bucks did they have to pay to do that?
Well, I honestly think it is heaps, but I feel like it's not a Zen apology tour, but I feel like they're going, hey, you know what? We need to right the wrongs. And it's not the wrongs that we committed, it's the wrongs you all perceived us doing. So that's if you're on the Switch, you're getting your FX3 games. And they're
because we managed to broker that deal. And
right. Good luck of that happening on Steam, because apparently Valve is being a bunch of dicks.
Yeah, pretty much.
We'll see it happen if it happens on the PS5 or not, and Xbox. But I mean, obviously, if they can get it in one place, I think it's. I'm not sure. Well, no, FX3 was never on Epic Game Store, was it?
No, it wasn't.
I don't think so.
No,
I don't know. Anywho, so they're doing that where they're committing, hey, where we can, we'll do backwards compatibility. I think the music thing is a huge one.
That's massive because I played them all. I thought, okay, what are these like now with the new music? And it's like, okay, they actually feel different. Like they're the same game. There's nothing different. They have not done any code updates to anything. But with that music playing, there's something about it. It does feel, I don't know, more immersive. It feels different. And not only have they got just the main theme music, but when you go into like modes like multi-ball, you've got a different Williams theme. Well, John Williams theme as well. So it's not just one piece of music; it's a couple that they've got in there too. So it's big. It changes a lot, but it does mean that the same music is in all games now as well. Which, I mean, is it a bad thing? I don't think it is. But it's
because I know that you can switch between the original.
If you turn off copyrighted music in the menu, you can definitely select.
So I know for myself, if I'm playing Jurassic Park, I want the Jurassic Park music. If I'm playing Jurassic World or Mayhem, Pinball Mayhem, I don't mind that music that's in there.
No, because they're like they're derivative works.
Yeah,
those two. Well, Jurassic World is not a derivative work. Obviously, it's actually I was playing it the other day. It's not one of my favorite tables, right? No. But I played it, and it's like it really is like it reminds me so much of like that Data East movie tie-in table,
right?
that sort of feeling where it's like, yes, we are absolutely going to feature actors in it. I mean, it's. This is not a diss by any means, but it does feel like that classic licensed Data East feel where they're going, yes, we have actor licenses and we're going to put those into the game and they're going to say stuff to you. And it's really does. It has that vibe to it for me.
And that's why if I was to pick one table to actually have the music there for, is going to be Jurassic Park, and that way the other two don't feel like, oh, here's that music again. Because honestly, that kind of gets on me with the Star Wars tables.
Yeah, the same music over and over again. Yeah. And it really does. It doesn't. Music is something that sets the tone of the table, right? And now it's okay on 2 or 3 tables, like in that Jurassic Park collection.
Yeah.
But when you're dealing with over 10 tables of it's like 15, isn't it really? With Star Wars, it's too samey. Like it doesn't give any audio flavor to the tables, and it really does feel like it does feel like just another Star Wars table because of that music playing. I haven't actually tried those tables with the copyright music off. I always just play it with the default on. So what happens when you actually turn the copyright music off? You just get no music?
I have not tried it myself. It's supposed to revert back. I know that there's a way that you can still listen to the original version scores that Zen had.
Yeah.
So I imagine that's what it's going to flip back to. But are you talking about Star Wars?
Star Wars. Not
I've turned off the copyright music before, and it's funny how bits of it still sneak in.
Yeah. But is it like that sort of
I don't think there's any music.
No, I think it's just no music.
I think it's just
no
like music.
You either have the licensed music or you have none.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's good. I mean, that is a positive. The fact
it's kind of like what they did with Knight Rider, where you can choose the classic, original, or the,
or the 20% different to avoid copyright music. Which I look, I always go with the copyright music because
I
it
do,
sounds great.
and I'm not streaming,
Um,
so it don't matter.
no, exactly right. But again, it's it's good that they think of the impacts of streamers when they're looking at
Hmm.
this sort of thing. Give you an option to remove copyright music if you need to, because it's annoying having strikes when you're doing streaming. And so the fact that they're actually thinking of people who want to do content on this. And that's been a feature for years, well, decades, really. I think
Yeah.
it was even in FX3 as an option.
Yes.
So it's really good that they're thinking about that. But also, if you just don't want to hear it, it'd be good if you could set it per table, where it says, "No, I don't want copyright music on this," like a DMD selection where you can have like film score or like original music sort of
See,
thing.
I
And
imagine once it comes to the at games cab, I imagine I will be able to do just that because as it
mm,
is right now, I can turn on and off like pop-up scores individually per table.
oh,
It's
okay,
not just a universal setting.
all right. So that will be a flow-on effect. Do you think? Yeah, that'll be good.
That's what I imagine.
I think because I would turn it off for the other two. I don't care for the officially licensed music in those, but you're right. Jurassic Park really needs it.
Yeah.
Like it's not negotiable.
So
Yeah.
here's hoping that they actually do go the Back to the Future route, get that, and get Jaws. I think Jaws is the one that I just needed the
Oh,
most.
it's like it would change my view of that table. At the moment it just feels like a generic table
Yeah.
to me, but having that theme playing and all the other stings as well that are in
Mm-hmm.
there, like
Mm-hmm.
get at least the main stings and link them, make them meaningful in that they're linked to modes, like that you only hear them when a mode plays.
Yeah.
Like that would make getting the modes and the immersion you get from that way more. Um, I think.
Interestingly enough, for as
Mm.
much as an Aliens fan that I am, I like the music of that one, even though it's not James Horner's score. Um,
Oh,
that's
they've done a lovely job
they've done a
with it's
fantastic.
atmospheric.
Yeah, I would say
It.
it's Zen. As far as I'm concerned, Zen's masterpiece of an original. I have
Yeah,
like no notes. It's perfect.
mm,
Um,
it really
so
is.
yeah,
And the way that they've like the yes, well, yeah. In short, yeah. No, don't change a thing. It's great.
yeah.
I just really love the way that they've done the scenes from the film and how you
Mm.
interact with those in the game. It's very very good. Um,
I noticed on Steam because I've had it in my wish list forever, and I
mm,
just always go, I don't want to pull the trigger on it. They have
mm-hmm.
Pro Pinball for 50% off right now, so I think it's
Oh,
$7.99. But I don't think there's a cabinet mode, and that
mm.
will bother me.
So is it just Pro Pinball Time Shock?
I haven't actually looked. I don't know what the deal is. I'm
Mm.
sure Pinball Wiz is right now going, it's because, he's been
Yeah,
begging
he'll
me
be
to.
screaming at us in the
He's
comments
been
when
begging
we
me
publish it.
to download and play this thing for years, and I'm almost just like, if you want me to get it so bad.
How about you gift it, my friend? 50% off, eh? Yeah, exactly.
I'm such a mooch.
So I
Um,
think I would leave um Pro Pinball the Web on the table. Like
yeah.
just don't worry about the game. It's not that great. Um Time Shock there it's good. There's a you you will fight to get to the wizard mode on it. It's not easy. Um uh and I would really it's a shame that it didn't go back through and make remastered versions of the other two because the other two tables I think in my opinion are more enjoyable. Like Big Race USA
Hmm.
is a really fun game. And I can't recall what the other one was, but yeah, I do recall playing it on Android when they released it on Android, and it was fun. Like Time Shock is it's pretty, um, but I think Big Race USA is just it's a better game. But I don't think they've done a remaster of that. I think
Yeah, I
you'll
don't think
probably only
so.
be getting Time Shock. Yeah.
All right, let's move forward a little bit here. For those of you that
notice what before you continue, I did notice, and you've been playing Xenotilt on, I would presume, cabinet, and I would presume on PC cabinet. Is that how you've been doing it?
Well, I've been playing it on the ad games, yeah. But
because they don't, because they haven't released a like an on-device version of that, have they?
No, and I really wish they would, but I don't think it's going to happen.
It's a shame. It's a missed opportunity because you have told me and I have seen it. It's amazing in tape mode. And the thing is, they have a tape mode in the game.
They do,
and it works really, really well. So yeah, I saw that you had a pretty high score on there. It was like 1.4 billion, I think. I went, wow,
something
really
like that.
high. And then I got onto it and doubled it. So they've done some modifications to how the game scores, because getting that score before was a battle, and now it's just the mini games is where it's at.
Yes, that's exactly it. It's if you can get in the mini game and score a great score in the mini game, bam, it just skyrockets. Your score
goes through the roof, which is very different to Demon's Stilt, where the mini games don't really feel like they give you too many points. But geez, get into those mini games.
Yeah, because I was playing the pool table, if you will. And I cleared.
I think that's where I got most of my points.
I cleared the board there. I was on one of the mini, because there's that, and there's two different small pinball tables, and I was just racking up points on one of those too. Yeah, just going off. So by the time I got back into the game proper, my score was just like, I'm sorry, what is that? And what's my combo bonus right now? Jeez.
It's like, how did I do this?
Don't know, don't care.
You know, I tell you, just like that experience of going into a mini game, and coming out with like a massive amount of points makes you go, okay, I need to do that again. I would like to experience that again, and if I've done it once, I can do it again, right? And I want to see how far I can go with it. So I like the fact that they've really doubled down on getting the mini games as a high scoring opportunity, because it sort of makes it feel like you're getting to like a mini wizard mode in it. Like, it's great. I love what they've done with it. It's so good. If you're sleeping on Xenotilt, folks, don't get it, because it's a really, really good game.
And if you really, really like Xenotilt and Demon's Tilt, get on their designers and be like, hey, you guys should talk to Chris and Jared, and also you should put out a dedicated cabinet mode.
All those things.
Because the part that really this is where why I want a cabinet mode so much. I just want that image up on the back glass. That is their cover image, because it's fantastic. I want that prominently displayed. I also want I don't need them to rearrange the DMD or create a DMD or anything. Just take the info that's on the right and left-hand sides of the playfield and just move it up into the DMD, because it's distracting. And there's so much distraction already on the machine. I would love that just out of the way. I don't need to see it. It's up on the back, because you can turn it off. But then you're like, well, what is my score? I don't know. That's where it's like, just let us move it to a second screen, and then we can see it up there on the second screen, but our playfield will be nice and clear. So
yeah, exactly. It would just add that little bit of extra pizzazz to what is a pretty incredible game already. Yeah, I would agree.
At least they're still working on it, unlike Pinball Wicked.
Oh, that's dead. I don't know what that's just dead. Nothing's happening with that game.
No. What was I going to go? Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Hey, for those of you that are waiting for us to talk about Wonderland Amusements, Alice into Wonderland, is that what it is? Or Alice Goes to Wonderland. Alice Goes to Wonderland.
Yes.
We'll get to that. That's going to be backside of the show. First, though, Zen went ahead and dropped a full video about their VR, PinFX VR, which we have been waiting for and anticipating. Jared mostly.
Yes, I definitely have been.
So we're going to I guess you could call it a react to the video. You won't hear any audio, folks. I've never been able to figure out how to get the audio to play on here.
It doesn't really matter
Doesn't
because
matter.
in this case, the audio doesn't really add anything to this particular
Right.
discussion. So.
Jared, however, is going to have me start and stop this thing.
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna do. Let's see. Let's go ahead and.
You could probably just.
I'm gonna delete us. Boink.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh wait, already go.
Make us go away.
Boop.
But also, don't even bother playing it yet because I've got some comments on this right now that you could probably save yourself a couple.
Just this screen?
Yeah, just the screen.
Okay.
So this is literally when you play the video, as Chris has got up here. This is the first thing you see. So you'll see a number of things from this scene. You see that there's the virtual hand picking up the cassettes, and that clearly means that rather than just using controllers in VR, you can actually interact with things physically. Well, when I say physically, it's like maybe hand tracking is supported in this, where you can pick up an object and then interact with the other objects in the room. Certainly the little dots, see the little dots above the hand? They're like hot zones, I guess, where you can go and touch.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. See how they move when you sort of cycle through. So the other thing that's pretty much confirming, I think, that we're going to have hand tracking support in the game, which backs up the fact that this is releasing on Meta exclusively. It's not going to be on any PC VR or PlayStation VR
for the moment.
For the moment, certainly on release, it's not, and so it's using all of Meta's current hand tracking and pass-through capabilities.
Jared, do you think these cassettes mean anything? Because there's a cassette that's Pinball M. There's the Pinball FX cassette.
Yeah.
There's that chip effects. I don't know what that.
Chip effects. So I think you're going to see. I'm thinking like chip effects might be Necrodancer or any of those games that have like chip tunes in them. That'll be the compilation of those background sounds. But like the big thing here is you got a Pinball M soundtrack in there, Chris. Does that mean
that's how you play Pinball M, perhaps?
I think it's more about the sounds and soundtracks from Pinball.
Oh, I was thinking that this is how they're going to delineate.
Libraries.
The libraries.
Well, okay. Then Zen Pinball Party, then, which is the one top right.
Mm-hmm.
What would they be offering in that? Would that be the I don't know,
DreamWorks and
maybe
Trolls, and I don't know. That's what I was just spitballing, just in seeing. But
interesting.
Let's advance a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. So you're putting the cassette in, and then you play. Now pause it here. Okay, that's actually the perfect point to pause it at. So when I was looking at this video, this one here, when it cuts to
Pinball Noir.
Pinball Noir, you also see the hand tracking very similar to what it was like in Star Wars Pinball VR, where you had essentially hands on cabinets.
Okay.
So I personally don't like it because the hands get in the way, and it would be different if you were leaning up against something like a pin sim or something like that, and you were able to map your hand position to the pin sim.
Yeah,
that would be great. But otherwise, if you're just sitting on a chair, which is so I usually play pinball seated because there's no reason to stand up and play it. So I'm sitting on a couch. I have my hands in my lap on the controllers, and then I see the hands on the cabinet. It's a bit of a visual mismatch for me. Like it doesn't really marry up to what I'm seeing in the actual headset. So I think turning off virtual hands unless you are interacting with objects would be good. And I think if you're doing that, just make it so they're like disembodied hands, so you don't have the arms and you don't have all that stuff. You don't need it.
Okay,
Like,
so here's a question that I've not really researched into this much.
mm,
But I believe I heard initially that it's going to only be controller, that you're not going to be able to use, an Xbox controller or some other, that it's only going to be
the actual virtual controllers.
the actual virtual controllers. Have you heard that too?
I haven't heard that, but I think that tracks based on some of the tells later on in the video.
Okay.
So my points were with this one, like when you see that come up on screen, yeah, hopefully we can turn those off. And if you advance the video a little bit further, you'll see it goes to Sky Pirates. All right, if you pause it there.
Whoop. Go back just a sec.
Scrub back a little bit.
There we go.
Yeah, that's great. So, look, we've got a very similar feel to Star Wars VR.
Mm-hmm.
We've got characters standing in front of the camera, so you can see them doing things. You'll notice that the actual presentation of the video screen is full size, like not like shrunk to fit inside a little marquee. It is the entire speaker panel's width.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that they've gone all the way with that and treating it like a stern video screen.
Right.
I think that's a really smart decision for these tables that have video screens. And I hope that for the legacy tables that have DMD still, that they do exactly that. They go DMD large and they put it there, and it's the same size to make it really, really visible and really glanceable when you're looking at it. I really love that.
I hope that for like, well, let's just say for Dr. Dude, which was that Bally with the score all across the bottom in one row. Yep. I hope we get that. I hope that
oh yes,
for Space Station that we get the individual
all
score
the
blocks
placed where they are.
Same thing with BlahCade Pinball. Yeah.
100%. I would love to see those accurate back glasses.
Yes.
It would just make a world of difference.
It would. Okay.
All right. So you see old mate Captain Morgan. Is that his name?
I have no idea. I really don't like this table.
No, and you know the thing that if you just play it a little bit more,
no, it goes.
There was like a shot of that annoying thing, which I think they call the monkey.
Hold on, I got this.
That thing flying around the table. Oh, thank you. Yeah, play it from there. Oh, get away, the monkey! If that thing starts flying in front of my vision when I'm playing pinball, I'm gonna be like angry. That thing, even in flat mode on this table, that thing obscures shots when you want to take. It seems to have an innate ability to get in your way on that table, and I just hate it. So that thing can just buzz right off, literally. Okay, so this thing.
What do we got?
Lucky wheel thingy is how I've referred to it in my notes.
Is it
Lucky
tokens?
wheel.
Is it randomizer?
This is what I reckon's going on here. So it looks like it's like a daily rewards thing. Right? And you can see that there's like tickets there. I don't know if that is your ticket balance or whether that is the cost per spin, but you can definitely see that there's some sort of earned thing for like tickets there. And I think this ties into another thing that they talk about or that they show later on, which is the campaign global. We'll get to that in a minute. So have a look at the things that you're seeing on the wheel. So at the moment, it's again, these are probably placeholder images here, but you'll see that there's like Sky Pirates awards. So you got ball, you got something with like a comet ball, you got flipper, you've got like some random symbols. I have a feeling that these will be cosmetics. So these will be cosmetic unlocks, and that's how they're going to do cosmetic unlocks in the game. What are other notes that I have here? yeah, it looks like it's like a cost per spin, and it'll be some sort of like non-financial currency. It'll be like an earned reward currency in the game of tickets. I don't see any reason why they would charge you for it.
They should just tie that into experience points.
I think really, yeah. And that there's definitely a bit later on in the video with campaign mode that I think definitely ties into that. We can link this concept back to that, I think. But have a look at the just to the left of the wheel, a nice little cabinet shot of Adam's family there. Just sitting there waiting to play. It looks good. They've got the side art on it, which is great. So it's like the render that you see in Pinball FX as you do the table flyover. So that's great. Okay, let's
keep it we're 11 seconds in.
Yeah, and this is 11. This is what I've been able to gather from 11 seconds, right? So yeah,
put your collectibles where you want them. That hold on, go back, because that is inside of Zen Studios doing a little AR of the machines.
Yep. So that's Zen's mocap room, because you can see the motion capture cameras on the wall. So yeah, that is pass-through VR is confirmed. So this will be using, as you can see, this will be demonstrating what it looks like on Quest 3 with color pass-through. I don't know what they're going to be doing with Quest 2 and its black and white pass-through. But I think
you'll just live in a noir world. That's it.
It will be grayscale, and all the things will pop out more, which is, it will be interesting to see. Like when you're placing all the things like the posters on the wall and the games in your room. So my notes about the whole VR pass-through thing is, it's like, I think that the game at the moment on the Meta Store is linked as room scale VR. So if you have a warehouse, you could basically lay out a warehouse with all the games that they're going to be releasing in this title laid out for you to walk up and interact with.
If you've got an apartment, good luck.
If you got an apartment, maybe you got a 3 pinball wall.
You've got a pinball machine on top of your bed.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
maybe.
So you know, it's really interesting to see though the fact that, you know, you can put as many games as you own in a space. And I think that's really cool. Like it's I'm really hopeful for this feature. To see what it's like.
See what else we got going on here. Pure 80s right there.
Oh yeah. All right, pause. Okay, so here I think so this is my comments on this. Like, it is, again, if you got a warehouse, that you can walk around this entire space physically, and actually have that experience. I mean, it will be a bit weird going up and down the stairs, because everything's not flat. But just take a look at the left of the pillar there. You've got a room that has more games sort of tantalizingly stuck in that room. And I think this is a bit of a tip on how they're going to do categories in the game. So you've got separate rooms that have, like, let's say, Williams Pinball in it, Star Wars, all that. They're going to be in separate rooms so they can actually have almost like mini man caves.
Yeah, the proper theming that goes along with it.
Yeah, so the proper, as I referred to it in a previous episode, bespoke experience. For the license holders. So it's a really, I think it's a really interesting.
Do you see to the right? There is a call it a video screen that says Adam's Family on it, and some arrows down at the bottom. Do you think that it's not that you're physically going to be, guiding your controller to walk up to the table, but instead selecting an arrow left or right, and then that'll automatically walk you to it?
I'm trying to see the arrows that you're referring to here, or like.
So it's underneath that exclamation point bit of neon?
Oh, yeah, I see. No, that looks like some sort of. Yeah, I don't really know.
It looks like a hologram of sorts that's saying, hey, Adam's Family is up here. Although it's not
Yeah,
Addams
oh
Family
no,
up there, it's Twilight Zone up there.
I think it's one of those. I think of it like the new game ticker when you start up Pinball FX,
Oh,
and it's got
okay.
that little banner thing.
Yeah.
I think that's how they're going to be representing news
Okay.
and updates and things like that in the game. It'll be there.
All right. Let's
So
scrub
that's
through a little
good.
bit more.
All right, pause that. If you scrub back, you'll see you've got two arches, and you've got Williams Pinball clearly put
Oh, and
on one, and
Universal
then
on the other.
Universal. So you'll see there's two separate game rooms, and you can already see in the Universal ones they've got like the statue from Battlestar Galactica in there. By the looks of things, it's like the sculpture. And you've got that Williams theme. Now, I'm really interested to see when you go into the Williams room, will they be putting the new carpet and new environment in that room? Because I would hope they would, since they've actually put it into the Pinball FX game.
Yeah.
I would expect to see it when you walk in there. But this pretty much confirms that they're going to be using rooms to align the brands.
Yeah.
So you'll be exploring the rooms. The thing I would like to point out here, though, is I would like, from a usability perspective, once you've been wowed by the fact that these rooms are there, I'd like a really quick way to select table groups, very much like a flat mode. I just want to have categories after I've gone through the wow factor of it. Just give me categories so I can get to the game I want.
Yeah.
That would be a good usability add if they haven't already thought of that. All right, 3 tables. So we know that there's going to be Sky Pirates, Noir, and Curse of the Mummy in there. Oh, Curse of the Mummy looks good in VR. So here we are. There's a little bit of a tease of what it looks like. And again, this looks almost like a Nook. And I just love the fact that lower right-hand corner, they've even got the power cord. They've even thought of putting the power cord in there as like... It's just, there's a lot of detail in this. They really put a lot of care into the environment. So this, to me, I was a little bit confused when I first watched the video because I thought, oh, they got game nooks, a little bit like Pinball M, how they have like the game area where things go around it. But I don't really think that's true. I think when you walk up to the game and you start playing it, the environmental stuff gets superimposed around it, but the game still stays in the position that you've placed it. See, when you're walking up, nothing.
Yeah, then once you start playing it, it'll create around it.
It'll put the environmentals in. Yeah. I think that's how it's going to work.
Makes sense.
So if we advance forward more, we got Noir, and we got the Mummy. That looks really good. Now pause there. Well, I was going to go. So
into
here's
the
Williams room. We're in the room. So having a glimpse through the door. So it looks like you've got, a wall with... It doesn't look like there's a lot of Williams branding in there yet, but I'd say these are very early shots of the trailer, and I would expect it would not surprise me at all to see that this room gets heavily themed closer to the April 1st release, and we're recording this today on March 16, so that's not far away. April 1st is when they're printed that, which I think is the funniest date to actually put that out. So look at that likeness of Indiana Jones there. The full rendered camera is just not
can't pause
quite
enough.
just not quite the person you would expect to see standing in front of you there, but close enough. Pretty good though. Pretty good render. So that's pretty cool. So again, I cannot wait to play Williams tables. This looks great. Look at this. Tunnels wrapped in the car's gonna be jumping over the table. I'm really looking forward to playing Knight Rider in VR. It's gonna look amazing. I'm getting very similar vibes to what they've done with Bonsai Run, and the fact that the rider jumps up and around and controls a transition from lower to upper playfield. I'm getting those vibes from Knight Rider there. It looks really good. Xena is going to be a table. I think I might actually find my love for this table in VR.
I told you, I understand it now that I'm playing in cabinet.
Yeah. So, I think I really need to see this in non-flat mode to really get it. And look at this. Look at that. The BSG thing, the Cylon. It looks so cool. and Star Trek
Star
looks
Trek,
great.
asteroids about and about. Yeah.
Yeah, whooshka. See you later. And oh wow,
That's gonna
they've
be
gone
distracting.
That's really distracting. So here's I wasn't going to put this in my notes, but since you brought it up, so one of the things, if you're playing competitive pinball, right, that the rule is no one is ever on pain of death to stand in front of you in your vision when you're playing pinball, because there's a whole distraction element, and you can actually get banned from tournaments.
So having a hand run across the top of the playfield, that would be.
Well, that's one thing, but like having a character there, and I've seen some of the ways the characters in this sizzle reel here interact with the game. It's like they're invasive over the top of the game.
Yeah.
So I am already predicting that people will go, "Can we just turn them off? Can we not? Like, I know you love your interactive characters, and can we just turn these off, please?"
Hey Zen, you see those thing lights that are visible underneath the DMD? Can we have those put back into the game, please? Thank you.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great, actually. Yeah. So, and look at that World Cup soccer again. How big do you want your dog?
He's Louise.
Like, far out. That is a large pupper. And his snoot is like, look at the size of that.
No.
Like, oh boy. Like, that is a in your face. Yeah. And here we have Robbie the Robot. Looking good, by the way. But again, look, this is what I'm talking about. Like, he's very close to the table there.
Yeah.
All right. So here we are. I know you're advancing fast, but this is where I think we're going to see the time between that lucky wheel and the campaign. So have a look at the stars. So the stars here indicate that there are 210 achievements in the game that you have to work your way through. And it looks like when you unlock certain things, and there's like, if you see down there, you'll see that there's like 6 categories of I guess buffs in the game, and we are talking, I mean, there's there's more numbers than achievements in there. Each one is 99, 99, 99, but I think the idea behind that is you will get I don't know, like from 0 to 99% maybe on those, and you might get like 10% per game or per area. If you go further a bit more, right, so pause here, you'll see that they've gone with an interesting aesthetic here. So they have like the world view, and then you dive into city, and this is like the secrets and shadows mode here. And I don't know about you, Chris, but I'm getting very much Streets of Rage, city overview mode vibes from this, and I'm actually perfectly okay with that.
Local gangs have taken over the pinball halls. Yeah. You need to defeat them and reclaim your territory.
Absolutely getting those vibes from this, and I'm all for it. I think it's great. So you'll see that the stars relate to unlocks in that, and I think maybe there might be some tie-ins to tickets here as well. I'm just not certain. I think these ones are focusing on, these are, I think, very much like the quest lines in FX. I think they're using a lot of borrowed information from that. And have a look at those little things that are above each of those icons, above each of the table things. You've got what looks like on Noir, you got what I'm assuming would be like a flips challenge.
Probably.
You've got over Mummy, you've got a timer challenge. That'll be like 5-minute challenge. Mummy will be the multiple mayhem challenges that you see in there. So
Sky Pirate single ball maybe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, probably. Yeah, single ball. And I think so. We're going to be seeing like game modes represented like that on those tiles, I think. And you'll see that there's like 3-star completion, so you'll have 3 levels. And I like that too, because it means that if you're just learning pinball, you're not going to feel like you need to complete all 3 stars immediately to get progression in the game. And I really like that. That's really good.
Okay.
All right, mixed reality mode. This is a bit more of a view of what you can do. Now, if you just scrub back slightly to see that table in the room, yeah, see that? So I think that, I don't know whether that's a virtual table or whether that's a actual table, because there's a glass on there. It looks like you can, if you have a set like your lounge room and your stuff isn't moving around in your lounge room, and you map your VR space to your lounge room, you can put virtual objects on your coffee table if you want, and that can be an actual physical interactive space there, and I think that's really cool. So yeah, I'll let you. It looks like you can put a whole bunch of stuff everywhere in there, and this thing, like
darts.
Darts. And again, have a look. 30. See the 0:30 on there? I think that's either a time limit.
That's maybe
that could be a tickets quota.
I think that's the tickets.
Maybe.
Oh no, you're right. It's probably a timer.
I think that's probably a timer, but I think you will definitely get tickets from these. So I think you probably get an allocation of tickets per day. But if you want to boost what you can unlock in the spinny wheel, you can go and play mini games. And I think so this is like the sizzle reel trailer, but the Pinball Bites episode did touch on there's going to be lots of these mini games scattered around the arcade room. So I think this is interesting. It's going to be interesting to play darts virtually. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so you can see here that it's got the classic way of selecting
statues
items with the pointy controller.
Yeah.
So that's just really table stakes with how you interact. So there's a lot in that video. Even though it was a really short sizzle reel, there's a lot that you can pick out of that video, and a lot of cool stuff to come. So we touched on before, Chris. It was like, so you're only going to be on MetaQuest initially. There's no announcement yet of VR on PC or any of the other platforms. It does seem, unfortunately, that at this stage, unless you're willing to gamble on it coming to Steam VR, you are going to have to rebuy everything on this platform. And I don't know about how people are going to feel about that. The game's $10 US to buy, and you get 3 games with that, which is the 3 Secrets and Shadows tables. So
it's going to be the same pricing, I think, as what's on Ant Games. So it's going to be $5 or $10 a table, depending on the license. I would almost guarantee you Indiana Jones is going to cost $15.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I think it'll be...
And probably World Cup Soccer will be a little bit more as well.
10.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So I think, if we're looking at the catalog there, you've got... So Indy Jones will be, let's call it 50. What is it? Like, well, I'm talking about Aussie prices, like 15. Then Twilight Zone, World Cup Soccer, Addams Family, Star Trek TNG. Those ones are all going to be like that $9.99 price point. So that's like 10, 20, 30, 40, 55. And then you've got the Universal TV, so Knight Rider, BSG Xena. That's a pack.
That'll be 15.
15. It'll be 15. So you're probably looking at, if you want everything on launch, you probably need to put aside about, $70 or $80 to get everything on launch and have the full experience. So, that's a big chunk of change. But when you look at it, there's some, AAA titles that release for $100 when you buy them when they come out. So you can go, well, okay, if I want the full experience. And I think that actually puts close to, I'd like to say, the Pinball VR Classics table roster size, maybe a little bit less.
Yeah, so there's where my only concern is. I wish they would make a bigger announcement about this. Apparently it got pointed out on a Reddit thread that I guess Mel posted in, that yes, the intention is to bring over everything into this. But I don't like the fact that you're going to, are they going to delay all those tables that are in Pinball FX VR 2 because they're already in VR? Or are they going to hurry up and bring them over because they've already been, basically all the VR-ness is already there? Just, I want what's in VR right now into this as soon as possible. So get the Star Wars tables in there, get those classics from FX2 in there. Just get all the VR in one environment so we don't have to open up 3 different apps in order to play this stuff.
Yes.
And then totally start adding in all the other library.
And there's... Look, this is easy to say because I'm not a developer, but I know that well, we all know that Star Wars VR is UE4, Unreal Engine 4.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like they're going to have to take Pinball Classics, re-engineer them for Unreal Engine 4, and then make them available. Just simply get the code and pull it out and put it into this new platform.
Yeah.
I know it's not as easy as that, but
that would also buy you time while you're converting the rest into VR.
They give you a runway
and start doing a release schedule. Do 2 releases a month.
Yep.
It could be a single table. I don't care. But show that there's a cadence. Show that you're going to continue to support this for a good long while. I mean, if we can see that runway of... And this is... Again, I'm looking specifically at what is happening with @Games and what Zen is doing there. There is a runway for an entire year of content. That makes you feel good about your purchase. I myself, as somebody that
invest in the platform,
as somebody who has not yet purchased a headset, my big thing about not wanting to purchase a headset, look, I've got the Rift. I'm not playing on the Rift.
No, it's not going to be a fun time for you to do that.
No, it's too difficult. It's a nightmare. So, I'm going to be invested in the headset. Okay? So, bam, there's $500.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to invest $500 to find out that you're only going to be releasing 20 games and that's it.
That would be, not good. No. Give me, assurances that if I buy into this platform, if I buy yet again another, cost of entry, what am I going to get from my investment? Do I buy things on Steam still to get them day of release? Are they going to be done in lockstep? So are we going to have the VR version of the table available in the platform when we get the new thing in the Pinball FX platform? I would certainly hope so. Otherwise, the VR thing becomes second class, and it's still all about consoles. So, I mean, that adds production impacts to it. They have to do the VR stuff as well. But I'm hopeful that that's how they do it, because they, I think starting from a certain point in the year, I think that's what the intention is with @Games as well, isn't it, Chris? They're going to be looking at doing day-date releases with the mothership platform in @Games. So I would expect that to be as close as possible, because all these different ecosystems have different release schedules and cadences, but within plus minus 2 weeks or whatever, that they go out as soon as they possibly can with the release schedules that those platforms have. Otherwise it's well, where do I spend my money? I have to make a choice as a consumer then, and I shouldn't need to. I should just be able to go, that content's out, I want to buy it now.
So, speaking of spending money, we'll talk about the headset purchase after we talk about our other main story, because I want to get to that. So, you may have heard of a Alice in Wonderland table from Dutch Pinball that's in development. It's got some really incredible art. And then all of a sudden, I start hearing about this Alice Goes to Wonderland, and the art I'm seeing is not the same. And I was wait, what is this? Interesting. Turns out that there's a company called Wonderland Amusement. They are headed up by former members of the Arcade 1-Up team. And they have a Kickstarter going on that actually is active right now. It was fully funded in 2 minutes. So,
which is a pretty wild.
Excuse me. I've got the old tickle in the throat as usual.
Oh, yes, righto.
Yes. So they've got the Kickstarter going on, and they're doing their whole goal is to have a pinball machine that is under $1,000, but an actual physical, real ball, real playfield pinball machine that you can own in your house. And that kind of kicked my interest. I was, well, wow, how are you being able to undercut the price by so much?
Yeah.
So let's dive in a little bit to their Kickstarter and see what we can glean from this thing. Bring up that screen here, and I think we can bring us back up into the picture now, because we're not going to be cutting anything off. There we go. All right, so basically there's a little glance at what your cabinet art looked like. It's a fun little drawing style that they got going on there. You can see a little bit of the play field, what's going on there.
I've got to say, like, from a like imagining this in your house perspective, that's a pretty nice looking object to display in your house. It looks really good, right?
There's your team members. It's their first pinball.
About the fact they've been like really into, toy production. So this is background, not just Arcade 1-Up, but the lead is actually like an ex toy producer.
Yeah. I wondered if this was. I looked at that cabinet and I went, so did they take a whole bunch of old Arcade 1-Up cabinets and just convert it? No, the sizes are different. So.
Oh, okay.
I already checked that out.
It does very much look like it, though.
It does, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get to... here we go. Here's your layout. Now, this is a 3D render. This isn't the actual table, but it's a fan layout, right? It's a basic fan layout. 2 ramps, some pop bumpers, a spinner.
Captive ball.
Yeah, and my gut reaction when I saw this was... there's nothing that I'm like, ooh, I want to see what happens when the ball goes there.
Yeah, it's all like very, very vanilla and also very cheap to implement features.
Yeah. And that kind of sucks, because you want to walk up to a table and immediately go, ooh, I want to see what happens when this goes there.
Yeah.
Right? And this is very basic ball movement.
This is very much like a an 80s early solid state, but with ramps.
Yeah,
that's what this is. I mean, that's not really a critique. That's just a fact.
Yeah,
like they're
It talks about what all those lanes are. Basically, each lane is a shoot it 3 times and you've completed that mode kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not the deepest of rules that you're going to have going on there. I did like this. This is their animation that's going to be on the DMD, or an example of it. Congratulations, you've already done a better job than anything that Magic Pixel has done.
Yeah. It looks really good.
Yeah, no, that's pretty strong. I like that. Here's an example of the ball going down. And if you watch the YouTube video of their designer playing, you'll see that that ball just hauls butt down there. There's no pause. There's no time. So again, it's like there's no time to appreciate the ball rolling on the thing. It's just an immediate return.
Yeah, that's slowed down. Like you can see the lights blinking slowly. Yes. So yeah, it flies down there.
Some of the things you got there, I like how it's like, light up queen talks. No, a light goes behind the queen, and then the voice of a queen happens. It's not animated or anything.
No.
These are all kind of flat. The Mad Hatter, I believe, is a cardboard flat piece. Because they're selling a 3D version.
They got like a
purchase later.
Yeah, that's right. So there's advanced versions of all these toys, essentially.
Does have multi-ball.
Yeah, which surprised me. I went, wow, okay, they've managed to put multi-ball in this thing? Interesting.
If you look at that video, though, that's playing there, it's kind of interesting. There's not a lot of GI lights going on there. Those inlanes are just a solid, I don't know if it's going to be aluminum or plastic.
Yeah, look. This is definitely a prototype view.
Yes, this is definitely a prototype. No doubt about that. So it's hard to say what is going on. But if you look at the prototype video, there is no light show. It's just lights are either blinking or they're solid lit. Don't expect some amazing light show that's going on. And we'll talk about kind of the parts used in a moment. That might also be an indicator of why that is.
Yeah, exactly.
You got your various reward tiers. Okay, so first off, Ignore this $7.99 price. That one's gone.
Yeah.
You have
That
the
went in 3
$8.49
minutes.
price. That one, I don't know if there's a limited amount, but that is for the Kickstarter. But that's
Yeah.
your 15% savings. So without the 15% savings, you're looking at, I think it's like $975 or something like that. So
Right, so pretty much $1,000.
it's going to be just under $1,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love this. Why have one when you can have two?
Yeah. I mean, sure. Like, if there was a linked mode or something.
Right. That's what.
It's like, no, that's a good idea. Like, give me 2 of them, like, and yeah, that'd be really cool.
And then there's the $2,000 version.
Is it double?
$18.99.
That is a big.
Now
And
you get
lots of
bronze.
salt.
You get a cool shooter. You get the 3D head. You get a 3D Cheshire Cat, and you get a cover for your
Topper.
entire machine.
And a topper.
And okay, folks, can we stop with the lame toppers? Not everything needs a topper. All it's going to have is some blinky lights.
How's that cover going to go on that topper? That's what I want to know.
It's
It
not.
doesn't seem big. No, it's definitely not. So that I don't know how they're going to do that. Anyhow, that's a minor
And I
observation.
say this also to Stern. Just because, I don't know, the ridiculous prices asked for some of these toppers that I'm like going, what does that even do? Now,
It's like $2,000 for some of these
the
things.
topper that is on Evil Dead, fantastic.
Yeah.
That's appropriate. The toppers that are on the Labyrinth that's great. Now that I'm seeing the value for the price. But some of these other things, I'm like, my God, how much would you have charged for the whitewater topper?
Yeah. Like I've seen like another good example of toppers that add value is like the Pulp Fiction topper.
Right.
Like that is so cool. I've seen that in person and it looks great.
Yeah, so dust
So
cover.
you're adding up the cost of these extra things you can buy separately if you wish.
Uh-huh.
Like it's like 100 and like what are we talking about here? Like the top is 149. Let's add the prices.
Okay, go for it, Jared.
Let's do some maths. So we've got 49, 129, so that's what, 170-ish.
So yeah, 170.
And then you've got another 149. That is not worth $150. I'm sorry. That's just a perspex with a artwork on it and a light behind it. No, that is not worth $150.
That's
so
it.
what does that bring up to? Like
That's 300.
300, and then
and then you don't forget about, so there's 300, and now you got to figure out what the price of all the brass is, and these playing cards that you get. And
the playing cards are $20 as a award tier.
Oh, you'll get a limited edition certificate of authenticity,
That
and a number and signed collector's plaque.
That also does not matter. Not for that much extra. That is not good value for money. I'm sorry.
No.
That is no. Oh, sorry. And probably, I guess you have to factor in, it'll all be installed for you when you unbox it. So you don't have to do it yourself.
It's coming in, the topper will be separate, the legs will be separate.
Oh, well, that's fine.
Yeah. Size-wise, it is more or less the same size as the Ad Games cabinet. I took a measurement.
Very similar.
It's like an inch here, an inch there difference. They're both the same width, which is 18 inches wide. But like the At Games back glass or back box is 25 inches wide and 25 inches high. So there's a difference. The At Games cabinet is, I think, an inch shorter than this. So, I mean, there's more or less, if you wanted a sense of scale, that's what the sense of scale is there. The playfield, they're saying just the playfield, 37 by 18. So if you're wondering what that looks like in real world terms, I have a demonstration here. I'm finally putting it to use, Jared.
Yeah, look, it's firepower.
So, I taped out the green areas are, what's taped is not what is going to be that playfield. So what you see is a regular playfield. That's how big the actual playfield will be.
Yeah, so essentially they cut off basically the ball shooter lane and a bit of the side.
Yeah.
So yeah, right. So yeah.
So, hey, does anybody want to paint this for me?
No.
No.
No, I would buy
does anybody
a.
Want to paint the? You can see up here my decals. Oh god, it's hard to work in mirror mode. Have already started. Oh, that one just came off. So.
All right. No, I think I'll hard pass and just buy a hard top for that one, Chris. Sorry. That's what I want to do with that. I would not want to touch up that planet. Not it, please. Not
it. So, this is the interesting thing. They went with a smaller ball.
They did.
Now, I gotta believe this would kind of help the issue with Safecracker, which is full-size ball on a small playfield. Therefore, you had to have smaller flippers. Whereas by going with a smaller ball, that's going to scale everything accordingly.
Yeah, but the thing is that with Safecracker, they already were an established business with established molds and established everything.
Yes.
And they had to operate within the constraints of their tooling.
Yeah.
Whereas these guys, nothing is commercial off the shelf.
No. So there's your playfield right there.
Yep. And this again is a render, as you can see. But yeah, there is nothing that you can buy from Pinball Life or any of the companies out there that you can use to replace parts on this thing. You have to go through these guys to get your parts.
And as Jared and I can tell you, pinball machines break frequently.
All the time.
What are they using for lighting? Is it
probably
bulbs?
LEDs, probably.
Or are they going to just have their own custom LED?
They will be custom. They'll be very much like Yopsicles.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, if anything breaks on this thing, you got to go through them.
You got to go back to them.
That includes your rubber.
Set the price.
That's going to include your rubber.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think of that, but you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's scaled down. So, wow, okay.
Yeah. And now they said they'll have all the replacement parts ready day one. But that's... a little foam core model, and then just their people. So I want to look. My gut reaction upon seeing this is not for me, right? But
no,
who's it for? And my immediate thought went to that Stern Jurassic Park Home Edition that I saw at Costco.
Oh yeah,
it's for the customer that wants to play pinball, doesn't really care about it. They're not doing it as a collector. They're doing it to have a physical machine in the house. That's
that
what
the kids can slam away on.
Exactly.
Yep. They basically want a one-up arcade. Oh, sorry, an arcade one-up experience, but a physical, real thing.
Yeah.
That's what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For that purpose, with your price point being under $1,000, I applaud that. Because that...
I don't know how they've done it, honestly.
No.
Like, my question is... Okay, so the Kickstarter is one thing.
Oh, I do have some answers to that, actually.
Okay, good. Well, we can touch on that. But I will say this, is that, like, I don't know how they have managed to do... I mean, what is the cost of an arcade one-up digital pinball now? What, $500?
Here's what I found.
No, I don't want your answer to that. Really. Thanks very much.
Yes, they were initially supposed to be $500. And then remember, they launched right before the shutdown happened, and all of a sudden, and demand was massive, and then Arcade One Up went, "Hey, let's jack that price up to $750."
Yeah. So
now,
I mean,
curiously, that the launch of this, and yes, they are sourcing. It's China that they're sourcing a lot of parts from, right? Yeah. And hey, guess who the U.S. just slapped massive tariffs against?
Yeah.
Timing is great again, guys. um,
Yeah. Well, yeah, this is gonna be fun.
um,
So what's that 20% on top of this at the moment?
well, here's where I'm. That price does not include shipping.
Right.
So
And I should, before you get too excited, rest of world, this is only US.
North
Let's
America.
point
It's
that out.
North America. It's
Yeah.
Mexico, Canada, U.S.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah. Yeah.
but don't
Which
expect
didn't
to.
surprise me in the slightest.
No. But there's where I'm saying. Okay, so maybe they leave the price as is, but your shipping cost is going to. That's where your tariff gets slapped on it. I don't know. I'm
Maybe.
just.
That's the only lever they have to use here.
You know, but that was my point with the Stern pinball. It even after I played it, I was like, this thing's not deep. That Jurassic Park, it's not deep.
Yeah.
It's a casual walk up. Anybody can slap it around and feel good about doing it, but it's not somebody that's going to be hammering on it for months and months, learning all the ins and outs. You're going to learn the ins and outs of this thing within a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
If that.
And that's with the Stern one. With this one, you know, it's going to be the look. They say they're going. I mean, it's Wi-Fi enabled, so they're going to be pushing code updates to it, which I think is pretty cool that they can do that. So they might be able to use the layout, and I'm thinking potentially put in different play modes, like maybe 5-minute challenge, maybe one ball mode. Like actually take some cues from Zen here and actually put some different game modes with different leaderboards, because the lockdown, sorry, not lockdown, the coin door does appear to have some sort of navigation.
Yeah, it's got a D-pad.
So, you know, that would suggest that you don't just walk up, play it, and that's it. I think there's going to be some sort of menuing system in it by the looks of things, so you can diagnose and test and all that sort of stuff. So that's obviously how they're going to be navigating that. But I would think that after the initial launch, there's going to be different game modes that they're going to put in to keep it fresh. I think if they're not thinking about that now, they need to, because that will make you want to keep coming back and experiencing the game in different modes. Like, you know, multi-ball mode, like a 3-minute multi-ball mode. I'm just nicking all the ideas from Zen here, basically.
Yeah.
Because they're fun. Like these challenge modes are actually really fun to play on a game.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, it is definitely, you know, the cost of entry is expensive, yes, but again, it's not as expensive as a real.
It's $5,000.
No,
for a Stern one. Like if I had to go, well, you know, I want a pinball machine in my home. I'm not brand loyal. This is a pinball machine. And if I was like, not with the knowledge I have about pinballs, but if I was a consumer and I was looking dollar for dollar, well, a fifth of the price, sign me up.
Yeah. Okay, so
I'd go and get it.
Materials. Playfield is 3/4 inch ply,
which is not.
No, that's standard.
That's standard width.
Well, I'm looking.
That's good.
Yeah, that's 3/4 inch.
I love how you can just eyeball that. I need to get a tape measure out because I have no idea about inches.
Wait. Do I have? I have a tape measure. Oh, actually, this playfield is just over a 1/2 inch thick.
Yeah.
So 3/4 is actually a little bit more, a little bit thicker.
Okay.
Cabinet MDF.
Oh well, that's fine. You don't. Most cabinets these days are MDF.
This one's the killer. Plexiglass glass cover.
For safety. I can see why they would do it.
That's what they put on the arcade 1-up pin, and everybody immediately traded it out and put in safety glass of their own, tempered safety glass.
And that's the consumer's choice. But
it's consumer's choice. It does add at that size. You're looking at about $150.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And
it's an expense.
It's an expense, but that's like.
But again, the people who were swapping out glass from the thing were not just average Joe consumer. They were people who wanted to do amazing things with.
No, it became necessary because they were saying that the plexi was distorting the
Oh.
the image, and that's where a lot of people are saying that they were like, why does this look like trash? And as soon as they put in the tempered glass, they went, oh, this looks so much better.
Or like took the glass off altogether and just experience it without the glass.
Yeah,
But I know what
possibly.
you mean. Yeah.
But Plexi is gonna scratch.
Yeah.
And
especially in like a home environment with kids.
Or a cat.
That's or anything.
Yeah.
Like you look at it and it scratches.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Right.
But anyway, there's where some of your one bit of cost saving comes into play right there.
And also weight as well for shipping. That's the big thing.
Yeah. So I don't like I said, I can't obviously judge the machine not having put my hands on it. I don't know how it feels. I don't know how it flips. You know, I mean, that's a big thing. I'm sorry, when I tried that home pin thing, it was like, this feels wonky. This doesn't, just the texture of the buttons was weird for the Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
Right? I used to hate Data East machines because they just felt cheap.
Different to Belly Williams.
What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, when comparing it to Belly Williams.
Different to Belly Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, the fact that they're using completely bespoke parts on this game, like what voltage are the coils running at? Are they 24 volts? Are they 48 volts? Or are they less? With a smaller pinball, they could probably even run it at less at 20 volts. They might even be able to do 20 volt coils, but they'll be bespoke coils.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking of all the things that you need to replace on a pinball machine over time. Like having to go to them for rubbers. Look, you could probably go and just go to something like Titan and just downsize a band. I think you could probably get away with doing that. So for like slingshots that are, 2-inch rubbers, you can go 1.5 inch, and you can probably get around that. You need to
but you're assuming that it's going to be the same thickness also, or the same width of the rubber.
True. They'd be crazy if they changed that. Like, why have complete tooling? Anyhow. Yeah, but still, like, the biggest concern I have is all the mechanical elements. Like, there's not a lot of moving parts on that game. There's like 3 pop bumpers. There what looks like a spinner on the right ramp.
There's a lock or a captured ball.
There is a captured ball?
There's a captured ball. So the captured ball is where the Mad Hatter is, and it's a horseshoe. And in between, there's a captured ball. And it's once you do the horseshoe 9 times, you hit the captured ball. And I think that's what starts your multi-ball.
Oh, okay, right. So there's like what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe an 8. Oh, there'll be an 8 for the up kicker and maybe another one for the launch. Like, how are you going to launch your multi-balls into play? Are they going to be auto? Plunge each one? Like, I don't know. Probably plunge each one into play, I'd say.
Possibly. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I don't think there's anything under field.
No. So, like, maybe 10 solenoids.
Yeah.
Let's call it an even 10.
Yeah.
So, with that, there's multiple sub-assemblies, depending on the quality, like what they're made out of. If they go down the path of Stern and they create plastic brackets for the pop bumpers, I mean, Sterns hold up because they're like arcade grade, but what ruggedization are they doing here? This is their first round.
Yeah.
This is their first rodeo with producing parts. Like, Belly Williams have decades of experience with producing parts and have iterated on Flipper mechs 10 times over the course of the time they're doing it. This is the first revision of their Flipper mech. I have engineering concerns immediately about this because I'm extra cautious about that sort of thing. But I have to realize that this is essentially a toy. And while you can get replacement parts for the toy, it is definitely still toy level pinball.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just, that's my biggest concern about it. Like, if you down $1,000 on this thing, and then 6 months later things start cracking because you're slamming it and you're really enjoying the experience of it, and then the part price, again, this is pure assumption on my part, like they control the supply chain. They can charge what they like
Yeah.
for it. I'm just being like the devil's advocate here, going like, what if a new coil is $50 if you burn one out? Like, what if a replacement sleeve and linkage kit for your flipper is like $30 because they can charge what they want? Like, I don't know. It feels like a gamble.
I feel like this is essentially when Bally put out Captain Fantastic and a Fireball and sold them at Sears, those home editions.
Oh, home editions. Yeah.
I feel like that's what this essentially is, and that's the same market that they're going for. I have a feeling it'll be a little more reliable than those were. But again, these are not collector things. These are not going to go up in price.
No, they're
which again,
they're
that's
a
where,
toy.
but that's where it's like, but it's hard for me to criticize because I'm like, you're at the right price point for it. I mean, I cannot expect
Honestly,
you to produce a real, honest to God pinball machine for $500. I know you can't. That's absurd, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that you can do one for under $1,000, now you're speaking something.
Honestly, it's amazing.
Right.
And this is the point I want to really make. Like, I have my reservations about it, but what they're pitching here and the Kickstarter and the price point they're going for what you're getting, it's amazing.
And if with the size, it would fit right next to that at games cabinet, and
right next to all your one-up arcade gear as well.
And if you are successful with this, and you have a second go around with another machine that has a completely different style layout, I think that's great. You pick the right IP. It's a common domain IP that is exceedingly recognizable.
Oh yeah.
It's so Disney adjacent, it's not even funny. So
and the artist they've employed to imagine the art here has done a really, really good job at making it very appealing.
Yeah. So
it's really good.
Really good choice. You didn't pick somebody's barbecue joint, like I forget who did that pinball. Where it's like, what the hell? What is that? No, good choice of IP that doesn't cost you a thing, but that everybody knows. So if you can do a second round of that on another machine after this, then I can see people start going, like I have seen with many people with their arcade one-up machines, where they start doing an entire mini arcade. And then you start getting a loyal following.
Just think of what other thing has come into public domain recently. Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. Well, Steamboat Willie.
Yeah. Yep. That's
well, and there's a whole slew that are about to enter in. I think like Popeye or I forget what else. There's a whole slew that are with it either this year or next that are high profile IP. So
there's your targets.
Yeah.
And they'd sell. People would buy those.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, my gut reaction is to crap all over this, but then I'm also like, don't crap all over it. A, you haven't touched it, and B, it's not for you. You're not the target audience. Yeah. But as I pointed out with that Jurassic Park, there is a target audience, and I think if these are going for that exact same audience, this is going to be more successful. This you can throw into a Target and a Best Buy and expect people to purchase.
People will just go and buy this one. They will walk up. If it was in a retail shop, they would look at it and go, just put it in my car.
And they're targeting, so delivery on this is targeting late 2025 with the intention of being in retail late 2025, early 26. So we'll see. All right.
I genuinely wish them luck on this.
Yeah.
I think it's ambitious, but I think if you are focusing on the fact that these guys have experience in the toy making market and they're applying that same level of engineering know-how, I think they're going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope they're going to be okay because this is a really cool idea. And I really do wish them all success.
And wouldn't it be wonderful if it drove down the price of Stern home pin machines?
I would love to see that.
Right?
Not that it will,
No,
but I would love to see it.
Okay, that's all for that. Real quickly, Jared.
Mm.
Here's my dilemma.
Mm-hmm.
The MetaQuest 3.
Yeah.
The 128 gig version is no longer for sale. It's all the 512. But
Yeah.
you can pick up refurb, like Meta themselves are selling a refurb 128. How important do you think it is to have the 512 gig with the intention of it being filled with nothing but pinball titles?
It's hard to say. So when I bought the Quest 3, I was offered like a AAA title, and I thought, cool, you get it free. And then I went to install it, and it was 30 gig in size. And I just went, I'm not playing that game on a 128 gig thing.
Okay.
So I would say, like anything, when you buy a piece of hardware, go for the maximum that you can buy.
Okay. That's question
probably
one.
As a 128 gig owner.
Yeah.
I think I'm up to about 50% capacity, and I've got like 7 or 8 games installed on it.
Okay.
So, because you will look for other games once you have pinball.
Mm-hmm.
Like it'll be the gateway drug that will get you into VR.
Look, I mean, Beat Saber's a given, but beyond that, I don't know.
You need space if you're buying DLC for that. So get the 512.
Okay,
for sure.
Next question. How important is the link cable if you pretty much are only planning on playing pinball for the moment?
Well, look,
it's $80.
You don't even need a link cable. You don't need a link cable anymore because you have AirLink capability now on the headset. So if you want to connect it to your PC, you can actually use over Wi-Fi to do that now.
Okay.
There are some caveats to setting it up, but yes, you don't need that link cable because it's very expensive. It's an optical fiber link cable, which is why it's so expensive, because they have a very long length on it. It's very good, but I don't think you necessarily need it. Look, buy it later.
If only I could use the optical fiber that I used to have for all my audio components that nobody uses anymore because of HDMI.
I like the Toslink standard. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's different. It's different.
I know that buying a new Halo is almost mandatory.
Table stakes, you must do it.
Now,
yeah.
Do you go with Metas, or is there
third party?
Well, a third party.
Yeah.
And is there a third party you recommend?
Yes, but I can't remember the name of it. In fact, I actually just went for like a cheapo Amazon special one.
Oh, really?
With a built-in battery pack on it.
Is that the important part? Built-in battery?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So the built-in battery pack will mean you can have longer gaming sessions. If you have glasses, you can also consider getting prescription inserts.
Yeah, they're only $50.
That will make your game experience much better if you're going to be playing.
My question is, like right now, obviously I'm not wearing glasses. Anything within 5 feet of me, I'm A-okay without my glasses on.
You might be right then.
So I might be okay.
Yeah, might be right.
That's definitely going to be one of those that I will wait and see if I need. I'm not going to purchase it right off the bat. I'll have to see if I'm fine without it. Carrying case.
No.
Okay.
Don't worry. Are you going to be carrying this thing around everywhere with you?
I don't know.
No, you're not. Just a nice cupboard that you can put it away from direct sunlight, because if the lenses catch sunlight, they can like damage the screens. So you must be careful about that. That is literally anything. Just put it in a bag if you want to keep it away from sunlight. A soft bag will be more than adequate, and a nice little nook with a cupboard that you can put all your accessories in. I've just got mine underneath the TV, and I've got a power cord that runs to it so I can charge it, and everything just goes in there, keeps it away, keeps the dust off it. That's all you need.
What about charging stand?
Nope. Just plug it in. It's got a USB. Like if you got the battery pack on the back of your headset anyhow, you're going to be plugging it into there, because it's going to be your primary plug. And the other tip, if you haven't thought about headphones, Bluetooth will not work with your headset. You must have either wired or a low latency headphone.
No, when you say, okay, so
what you've got in
how does
your
it
ears
play
at the
sound
moment-
without?
It's got little speakers that fire into your ears, but they're tinny and crap. And you
Okay.
won't like it.
So are you talking like over the ear headphones, or are there things that attach to it that can do just as well?
There's lots of different options, but I mean, when you first get it, just use literally what you have plugged into your ears now. That will work plugged into the. I think it does have a headphone jack on it. I believe. I have to look. But there is a one that I have, which is Soundcore, and it's got like a little pass-through dongle that you can use to both charge your headset at the same time as using your headphones, because it's only got one USB-C port on it. And honestly, they're great. They have really good sound quality. They easily and seamlessly pair. They fit really nicely in your ears. And they're actually worth the money getting them. So yeah, go with the Soundcore ones for Quest 2. They work just the same for Quest 3. It's the same thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Those are my questions, because I've been checking prices, seeing if there's any deals. All anybody's offering is Arkham Asylum with it. But
Arkham Asylum is the game that's 30 gig.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I think it's Arkham Asylum. Is that the Batman one?
Yeah.
No, different.
No, that's the Batman
No,
one.
this is different. No, this one was different. I can't remember the name of it, but it was massive.
But right now, it's been $4.99, right, for everything. Walmart just up theirs to $5.19, and I'm like, here comes them tariffs.
Here comes the tariffs, man.
So
if you look,
I need to purchase soon.
Yeah, you definitely need to get yourself a 512. And then, if you don't use all the storage, well, you don't use the storage, but you won't be kicking yourself when you go, geez, I'm nearly at 126 gig and I want another couple of DLC I want to throw on this thing. I don't think the DLC won't actually add a huge amount on, but if you're thinking about the entire library coming over to VR, that is going to be like a lot of gigabytes. And even for me, I'm going to make some choices about what games I install on the headset, which won't be difficult because I don't really play a lot of VR, to be honest, at the moment. Now, in closing as well, on the subject of VR, I've been obviously hanging around in the VR Discords on Pinball FX. And look, it's come up again, UEVR, right? So when we both tried it at one point?
I never tried it. I was asking you to try.
I did have a go of it, and my experience wasn't stellar. It was too much configuration and messing around for my liking. However, I did bring this up again because someone was talking about it on it, saying, "Oh yeah, look, I really wanted to give it a go, but it was really hard to set up, and I did more time tweaking than actually playing." And they suggested that since that time and now, the experience has come a long way. So if you are on PC and you want to not rebuy everything, I'm just saying, give it a go. Try UEVR another time. If you've tried it before and you weren't impressed, try it again and see how you go. Because from what I've seen, again, not direct experience because I haven't tried it again, but certainly from what folks are saying on Discord, it's not nearly as hard as it was to get working right. They've put a lot of time into the user experience of getting it set up now, I think, and that's the big difference. So give it a go and see what you think. You might be happy enough with it now that you may not want to invest in the on-device experience that's being offered in VR. But that being said, you are still going to get the flat room experience and everything that's in that experience at the moment. So none of the new shininess and campaigns and stuff. It'll just be, what's there in Pinball FX now. So
I mean, people are happy with VPX, so I don't see why they wouldn't be happy with that.
Exactly. Yeah. And once you get it configured for Pinball FX, there's a lot of other titles that then become VR ready, and have varying degrees of support. So it's sort of like get it working for like Pinball FX, and then I don't know, try it on some of the other library and see how you go. So,
all right. Well, that is all the time that we have for you today. We spent plenty of it, so thank you for sticking with us. I'll get rid of this cough one of these days. Let's see. What do we got coming up? We have, well, probably by the next time that we talk to you, we'll have experienced these games in VR.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So we might have some firsthand commentary on that happening. Did Zen announce any other tables?
Not yet. No, it's just been VR in the last Pinball Bites. Okay. That's it.
All right, so we'll have to keep an eye out and see what's going on there. But that's what we got for you this week. Next time, it's what Jared loves to talk about.
Stuff and things.
All right, until then, folks, thanks for being with us. Bye-bye now.
See you later.